All right, you should be crisscross applesauce. Your eyes are on me. Your books are on your lap because it is now your turn. I will help guide you step by step so that you are not lost. The first thing we're going to do is read it together. I am out loud. You are in a whisper. Point. Here we go. Right here. It is your turn to do this work. Bring your eyes to this chart. Your first step is to notice who the character meets and what happens to them. So let's go back one page, and I need you looking for who Elizabeth meets and what happens. Look at this. I want you writing, who is Elizabeth seeing in this next part? And what is she learning? What is happening to her? Everyone is writing. Thank you.
Where?
On your chart, in this next section, we're on step 1. So who is Elizabeth meeting in this next part of our story? And what is happening to her? I need that right here. You're writing it. You'll have an opportunity to share it in just a minute. Everyone is writing. Thank you. Look at this chart. This chart says that you need to study how that person or event impacted her. Now I'm going to go on to the next page so we can look. In any way that Elizabeth was changed, then we can see an impact. So look in here, reread. Was Elizabeth helped by this information? Was she hurt by it? Did it teach her? Did it challenge her? Did it do other things to her? Write it down. You're in that second column. How did this impact Elizabeth? In just a minute, you have to work with partners. And before you do that, I want you to feel really confident in doing this work. So, and look at this really quickly. Our story goes in order. So often, we meet the person or we see the event. That happened on this page. Do you see the woman who Elizabeth saw? I'm sure you wrote about her. Then we notice how Elizabeth is changed. We notice how she feels and thinks or acts differently. That's our second piece. This third question then says, what does this lead to? And that really means what happens next? What do we see Elizabeth say, think, or do? Think. That's different. And so that's where you're at right now. I need everyone rereading. Look at this story. What is Elizabeth doing or thinking? How is she acting differently? That is step 3. What did this lead to? How did Elizabeth respond? How is Elizabeth's life different right now? I need everybody writing. All right, you are back to me in 3, 2, 1. And I'm going to pull a stick. Jamar, can you share with me what you wrote? Who or what impacted Elizabeth?
The woman who lost her farm.
I need to know if you agree with him. He said the woman who lost her farm. If you do not agree with him, you can go ahead and give me one of these. And if you're not sure, you can give me one of these. But if you do agree, I want to see this. Thank you. All right, he said the woman who lost her farm. And could you tell me, Jamar, what you wrote for the impact? How did this impact her?
It's hard and it changed her.
It changed her, and what else? her and it changed her? What do you guys think? Do you feel like finding out that women can't own anything maybe hurt her?
Yeah.
Then I'll need this right here, okay. Okay, and Jamar, what did you write for what this led to?
She decided to do anything that boys can do.
Say it one more time so your partners on this carpet can hear you, because I want to know if they agree with you, or they disagree with you, or they don't know. So go ahead.
She decided to do anything boys can do.
She decided she will do anything that boys can do. I will find it. I don't want to slow down, so we're going to write it there. She decided. Your last name starts with an F, right? I want to give you credit up here. JF, right? That's what I thought. Perfect. Does anyone want to add anything to this? Any other impact that it has for her? Anything that you wrote down that you want to add?
No.
Did anyone feel like, it helped her? Did anyone feel like it taught her something?
No.
I see 4 or 5. Okay, does anyone feel like it challenged her?
Yeah.
Yes? Well, it can do a lot of things, right? Some things that hurt me also challenge me or teach me new things about life. So there could be a lot of impacts. In fact, it says it horrified her. So I feel like we could even say that it makes her angry. We could even add something that isn't on this chart. Yes, sir.
Horrified.
You want to put horrified her? I'll do that. Excellent. So we could say, I saw some people agree that it taught her, challenged her, and horrified her. Your last initial. D, what's your last initial?
Me?
Yeah.
S.
S.
S, okay. I know sometimes the initial thing doesn't make sense, right? It's the first letter of our last name. Okay, here's what we're about to do.
What?
Yes, sir. Are you ready? Here we go. Read with me. She won a prize for being the best in Greek studies. Her father was proud, but it is your turn to work with your partners. Before we do that work, who can teach me? I think I'll pull a stick. I want someone to teach me what we will do when we work with partners. Here I go. Oh, I dropped some. Let me pick it up. Amani, can you teach us what we will do? And if you are agreeing with her, I should see that, right?
You should notice who the character meets or what happens to them and study their impact. And also ask yourself, what did this lead to?
What do you think? Thank you, student point. I would agree. Thank you for using this chart. And then, let me see. Marielle, will you please tell us, if we are having some trouble, how can we help ourselves?
You can ask your partner or use the charts.
She said you can ask your partner for help. She said you can use the charts, both of them. Is there anything else that we could do to help us? Jacob?
We can ask you if we are still stuck.
You guys can ask me if you're still stuck. I need you to start with question 1, and I think shortest hair can start sharing first, but work as a team. If someone has an idea and is ready to share, you guys can take turns. All right, turn and talk. Let's go. All right, find a stopping point. You're gonna be back to me. Finish your ideas, write it down. If your partners have any last thing, you're coming back to me in 5, 4, thank you, 3, 2, and 1. I wanted to give a student point. Many of you looked ready and sounded ready, but some of you were still going, and so we'll have another opportunity in just a moment. All right, I want to see if there is a group. All right, Cantrez, can you share? Oh,
Elizabeth begged her father to send her to school.
Okay, so is that the first part, the event that happened? Is that what you guys wrote for event? Team? Is that what you wrote for event? That she begged her father to go to school? Okay. And what did you put for the impact?
It taught her. Yeah, taught her. I mean, it helped her. It helped her.
Well, could it be both things? Could it have helped her and taught her? I mean, school is supposed to teach us.
Thirsty.
Teacher point, I hear some talking. Student point for self-correction, great job. And did you guys write down what this led to? What was that third piece that you guys said? Go ahead, Amani.
She is
Teacher point, I hear some arguing. And
not living like other girls. She is studying religion, math, science, French, and writing.
you wrote exactly what it said right here. Excellent. Give me some initials, please.
I am.
What's your last?
D.
D. Head like wildfire. Newspapers across the country scolded Elizabeth for her boldness, but other women joined in battle. The idea of women having the right to vote began to buzz in the ears of people from Maine to California. Elizabeth had tossed a stone in the water, and the ripples grew wider and wider and wider. Many said Elizabeth must be stopped, but she was unstoppable. She changed America forever. Okay. Thank you for still bodies and eyes on me. It is your turn now. You have done this work. You have seen me do this work. You have done this work with partners. Before you are allowed to leave the carpet today, I need to see that you can do this final step by yourself. You will find a person or an event at the end of this story that impacted Elizabeth. You will describe to me how it impacted Elizabeth. And you will tell me what this ultimately, at the end of our story, led to. Are there any questions for me on the work that we're going to do? All right, who can teach that back to me? You can teach it, Bryson? Okay, what are we gonna do?
So we want to find a person and events, and we want to find the impact and what it led to.
This is silent. We are doing this on our own. And if you need support, we have the chart and the examples. You see it working.